Good evening, everybody. This is Andrew McLaughlin with the National Truck Driving School, and I want to welcome you all to our Tuesday night webinar with a very special guest tonight, Steve Loftus with CRST. And CRST is one of the premier carriers. We're going to hear a lot about what they do and how they pay and different things about them. Steve Loftus was just on with me. He dropped off. I'm going to wait for him to come back on, and in the meantime, we're going to get rid of some of the housekeeping. We have quite a few people coming online tonight. Ilian, I see you. Lavertas, Patrick, Bob, Carol. All right, looks like people from different states as well. We like to see that. Of course, we train students from all different states, and certainly CRST hires people from all different states. Okay, so what you can listen to this on your telephone, you can listen to it on your tablet, your laptop, or even on your computer. And there are some controls that you have. This is meant to be a little bit of an interactive webinar, so you're going to be able to ask myself and Steve Loftus from CRST questions about their company, about how they do things, and what the future of the trucking industry is looking like. So see number one over here, it's a microphone with a line through it. We are in the listen only mode for the first part of the webinar. Then we're going to be able to click on those microphones, we'll turn them green, and you'll be able to ask those questions. Number two is the little hand icon. I'm going to ask everybody to click up their hand. Carol, thank you. Paul, okay. Lavardis, I got your hand. Thomas, okay. Ilian, do you see the hand? Okay, and I can put all the hands down in one quick sweep, just like this. If I talk too fast, or you want us to go over something a little bit more detail, just raise your hand. We'll slow down, or we'll open up your microphone. We're more than happy to do that. Some of you I know do not have a microphone. You see I see some of you have phones, some of you have microphones, and some are blank. For those that don't have a microphone or you're not called in on the phone, you can use the questions box. So type your questions in there, and Steve and I are more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. We want you to leave this webinar tonight knowing a lot about CRST, a lot about national training, but most of all, a little bit about the trucking industry itself. Just to give a quick history of national training, we've been around since 1978, about 44 years. We teach truck driving school. We have heavy equipment operator school. We do Class B. We do lots of different pieces of heavy equipment, OSHA programs, things like that. And we're committed to providing our students a very strong curriculum. Our programs emphasize practical, usable skills blended with relevant general educational foundation, a good caring environment with attention and close faculty student interactions. And of course, national training, we have that open door policy. And one of the things I wanted to kind of show you quickly around the campus is our driveway. When you come in, you're going to see the sign. When you come into our main building. We are a full service truck driving school, so we do everything. You can get your DOT physical right here at the school as well. You also have lifetime job placement assistance when you're coming through our program. Our students bring their lunch with them every day, or they can buy their lunch in the machines. And we have lots of different companies that will actually come in and recruit you right while you're at school. For those of you that want to buy your lunch, that's fine. Got the classroom, and then they break you up into different groups where you're going to have 2 to 3 students to a truck. Okay, and we use lots of different makes and models of different types of trucks. All right, and we have cameras inside the trucks and things like that. So lots of different things that you can do in the trucking industry here. Now, I want to ask this question before we start with Steve and we find out everything about um, truck driving school and going into this career, why drive a truck for a living? This is one of those industries that's never going to go away. You know, you're not going to see these autonomous trucks that have no driver. There's still going to be a pilot in there. They're going to have a CDL. You know, there's stability in here, job security. This is a big deal. I want to introduce Steve Loftus, and Steve Loftus is with CRST, one of the premier carriers. And Steve, you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about your company?
Sure. So, good evening to everybody. My name is, like Andrew said, my name is Steve Loftus with CRST. CRST stands for Cedar Rapids Steel Transport. So, the company was founded in 1955. So, we've been in business 67 years. We are the 24th largest motor carrier company in the nation, the fourth largest privately held carrier in the nation. So, we offer transportation solutions to all our customers, from dry vans to refrigerated, flatbed, doubles, curtain side, oversized pharmaceutical transportation. So it allows us to service our customers for anything, anywhere, anytime. And that's been a big deal with our customers. We got more than 275 different accounts nationwide, and the company is financially stable, it's debt free, and it's been a cornerstone in the transportation industry for a very long time.
Yep, I think some of our instructors actually started out with CRST, and they have nothing but good things to say. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about driving careers. So you do student and recent grads, which is some of us. Steve, online tonight, I'm recognizing some names that are experienced drivers, guys that have gone to our school maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Just popping on tonight to see what you have. And we get that quite a bit. One of the things that I didn't realize about CRST is I always thought you guys were just a refrigerator company. You guys have a lot of different things, don't you?
We do. Probably one of the most valuable things is our versatility within the industry. So, Andrew, we hire students directly from schools. So yours is one of the most premier schools that we actually have the privilege of coming into and talking with your students because they are so well trained. And, we do take them out of the school with no experience, and, we're able to put them in a position where within the first year they can start a salary of $60,000 to $80,000 in the first year with the potential of making $1,000. So everything from, the training at the school, which is vitally important, and the foundation that the school lays, and allows us to continue with the training on our end, all the way through an experienced first seat driver. So we offer a lot of different things. We offer Walmart, FedEx, UPS. We offer pharmaceutical freight, which is probably our biggest and most needed account right now for drivers. And it's an account where a driver at their 5th month can move into a job making up to 90 cents a mile at their 5th month of driving. And I know 90 cents a mile, that's kind of Greek when you start talking about cents per mile. So prospectively speaking, it potentially puts that driver anywhere between 101 to 110,000 a year. So, the foundation that the school lays has been great, but we like to take the drivers and put them in high rewarding, high paying positions with phenomenal benefits, tuition reimbursements, outstanding equipment, everything we can do to help those students, further their career, we do it.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about, we always talk about, the pluses and minuses of being a team driver or versus a solo driver. You have your independent contractors. You have a lot of different options for students, and that's always a question that we get at the school. Do you have to be a team? Usually I guess most companies at least start out that way.
We do. So Probably the first 90 days with us is probably the biggest thing. So when the students graduate school, and we hire them on at CRST, the first thing they got to do is go through the training process where they're placed with a trainer for a period of 20 to 31 days. Basically, we take everything that the school's taught them practically and put it into real world use. For example, you guys are teaching them how to drive with an empty trailer when they come to work with us. They're going to haul 45,000 pounds. You guys are talking about backing and how backing is done, but they're doing it on the range with cones. We're going to teach them how to do it with a truck and backing in between trucks and trailers. You guys teach about hours of service management and trip planning. With us, we're going to be doing hours of service and trip planning. So that first 20 to 31 days is one-on-one with a trainer. So that's probably the biggest thing. Then after that, they do go into a team phase. And a lot of students take into, they take that as a bad thing. They want to be alone. They don't like the idea. What a lot of people don't understand is that's a blessing in disguise.
Very
with us,
especially with backing, having that
especially backing.
Yep.
So traditionally, drivers from 0 to 6 months have a substantially higher accident rate. So, they're paired up with a driver to get more comfortable, more confident, safer. They learn some tips and tricks from the other driver, and we can avoid accidents and keep those drivers' records clean as they move further into their driving career, which has been the biggest thing. Overall safety increases 70% with this process. So people think of it as a bad thing. They really shouldn't. They really should be open and receptive to it. But I think one thing that separates us from most companies. Now, every company that hires from me, Andrew, is a great company, and the students who need to do their research. But one of the things that do separate us from most companies is that 90 days, that's where students get to pick and choose their job. So with that, they're going to talk to a career service counselor who's going to be assigned to them. They're going to get to pick and choose their jobs. They're going to have input on how they want to drive, if they want to be teams or solos or regional or dedicated over the road, what kind of trailers they want to drive. They're going to be able to have that voice and input at their third month. And that really dictates what happens based on what they tell us and what they choose. They can kind of write their future destiny.
That's very cool. And when we talk about teams, we have so many students that have come to the school here at National, gone out to the different companies, and they went actually right from school to the company and stayed together that whole time. Sometimes come back 3-4 years later, still with that company, happy because they think the same, they run the same, and they're making great money out there. So that's certainly a great thing. One of the other things I like about CRST, though, Steve, is you have flatbeds and you have all different types of things. So we see students a lot of times will jump from one company to another company to another company over a penny. And realistically, with CRST, you can go from division to division and not lose your seniority and not lose all of the benefits and start all over again.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. So the thing about truck driving is the driver has to find their identity. Their identity is going to dictate how their career goes. For example, I drove for 18 years. I'm a flatbed driver. I don't want to haul anything but a flatbed, but I can say that and still make good money, and other drivers can go haul what they want to haul, make good money. Coming out of school, students haven't quite figured out who they are, or what their identity is. So it allows the driver to learn different trailers, experience different trailers, pick one specific trailer, or like you said, if I'm hauling a flatbed and I don't like it, I don't have to quit. I can just go haul a dry van or refrigerate it. Or if I'm on a dry van and want to try to do something different, I can go to a curtain side or a set of doubles, and we provide all the training in house for those specialized trailers. It allows a driver to expand their knowledge base, expand their resume, and a good chance to move around and make a lot more money based on the perks that each trailer provides.
Absolutely, and not everybody goes to school for the same thing. Not everybody goes to CRST for the same reason. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Let's talk a little bit about the trucks there at CRST. You guys, started way back here, I love this old truck you got here. This one here, so cool. Um, but you guys have some of the nicest equipment out there today.
Yeah, we run a 100% Freightliner fleet. Our trucks are 18 months old or less, so we cycle our trucks out every 18 months. And the reason for that is we want to keep our drivers with the most up-to-date and safest equipment on the road. And our trucks are outfitted with every safety feature we can put on it. So one thing I want to add, Andrew, is our trucks are 100% automatic, by the way.
Very
But
nice.
but you know, everything from collision avoidance to adaptive cruise controls to lane departure, rollover stabilization, blind spot monitoring, onboard forward-facing cameras, everything we can add to the truck to ensure the driver's safety, we're going to add it. We can't ask our drivers to practice safety if we're not in the same mode with them practicing it with them. So we're going to provide the state-of-the-art trucks. Every one of our trucks are equipped with auxiliary power units or APUs. So when drivers are in an area where there's no idling laws, they don't have to idle. Put your APU on, and you're going to be very comfortable. All our trucks are equipped with onboard refrigerators and inverters. They're all fully condoed, 67 to 72 inch sleepers on board. So, I mean, they're very nice trucks. You know, they do great, and the maintenance on them is top notch.
Nice. Very nice. One of the other things I saw on the website here is CRST is very military friendly.
We
We
are.
have a couple of
So,
guys from Navy, the Navy base here in NAS Jax on with us tonight, and let's talk a little bit about the military programs.
so we have a program with CRST called the Heroes to Highways program. This program allows veterans who are leaving their military service and enter the transportation industry to receive benefits for their time and services they've done for their country. So, a couple examples is the increased mileage paid based on service. So, a military member who served 4 years would actually start out at 60 cents a mile with us, where a military member who's retiring 20 plus would make 64 cents a mile day one. We have a military apprenticeship program, which is a joint partnership with the VA and the Department of Labor, which allows military members for the first 12 months to claim BAH, or in layman's terms, add 14 to 16,000 additional on top of their current earnings for being in the VA apprenticeship program. We also have military sign-on bonuses. So, you know, a lot of benefits. One of the really cool things, Andrew, is I'm sure you're familiar with the military-friendly event that's happening in D.C. and across the country right now, where
Yes.
military members designate truck companies designate a veteran for this military transition program. CRST actually has a finalist that'll be in D.C. next week for the military transition program. So one of our own current veterans is actually in line to win the military transition program for the country. So we take very good care of our military veterans. We love our veterans. I served in the Army, had a great time when I drove, so I can completely understand what they're looking to do.
Okay, we're getting some questions in already. Daniel Thayer says, would I be able to drive, stay in town, fresh out of school?
Unfortunately, I do not have local work in Northeast Florida.
In Florida.
That's the first thing. Second thing, most local accounts want a driver to have at least 6 months OTR experience. So the closest local account for us would actually be in Savannah, which is a Home Depot. But the customer sets the time frame on the amount of experience that a driver must have. So with us, it's actually 6 months, and then at 6 months they can transition to a local position. But right now I have nothing that I can offer local to a student coming out of school. I can offer regional after 90 days, which allows the driver to be home weekly, out 5, home 2. I can do that, but traditionally I don't have local work right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of talked out of turn there, but one of the other things I wanted to this right here, the tuition reimbursement pays you up to $8,000, even if they use their GI Bill. This is phenomenal. You don't see this with a lot of companies.
So CRST actually leads the industry in tuition reimbursement. So we pay the student's tuition back at $425 a month. No contracts involved, no obligations, just graduate a good program like yours, Andrew. And then we pay that for 25 up to $8,000 every month to the driver. Now, if they take a loan, we'll send that 425 to their lending institution for them. If they pay cash or use post-9/11 benefits, we give that money directly back to the students because CRST views that money as theirs.
Very nice. Very nice. So I'm kind of going through some things here. You guys have really fixed up your website. It looks great. And we talked about those dedicated routes or those regional routes. CRST sees you and your family as part of our family. So you're not just a number there at CRST. Their driver manager knows you. They know your kids, that type of thing. Correct?
That's correct. Our current sitting president, Hugh Ecker, he has a very strong work-life balance where he believes family's important. He also believes that the driver's truly important. So he spends a lot of time working with drivers, a lot of time learning families, and then he expects dispatchers, he expects safety, he expects HR to learn those families too. So when you call in, they pretty much know who's calling by the time you call and they hear your voice, and they listen. It's not like it's this is it, that's all you're going to get, blah blah blah. No. Let's talk about it. Let's see, come up with a good solution. There's problems. Let's resolve it. Oh, you have a family emergency. Let's get you home. So they take that time to know their employees, know their drivers, and work with them.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Solo, we talked about that. Let's just get into, I don't see a lot about the benefits here on the site, but I know that you guys also offer some terrific Blue Cross or some sort of medical and life and things like that.
Yeah, we have a full benefits package for our drivers. So we offer health, vision, dental, 401k, accident disability insurance, free life insurance, endorsement programs, rider programs, continuing education programs, driver per diem programs. We have a lot of different benefits. So our health benefits is Blue Cross Blue Shield. Our dental is MetLife, and vision is VSP. We'll match 3% up to 6% on 401k. Life insurance is free for the driver in the amount of 1 year of salary. It's not a $15,000 or $20,000 policy.
So if you made $100,000, your life insurance was $100,000.
That's correct.
Wow.
Endorsements, we pay for the driver's endorsements because at the end of the day, those endorsements help us move the trucks, helps the driver make more money. So we pay for the endorsements, and we pay the drivers extra to use their endorsements, between 4 and 10 cents a mile more. We offer, again, a rider program, so they can take riders with them as long as they're over the age of 10. They can take riders with them, and a lot of good benefits. Those are just to name a few.
How about pets, Steve?
We do not allow pets on the trucks unless they're service animals. Service animals get the free pass, but we traditionally do not have that policy.
Yeah, and I mean that has a lot to do with the type of clientele. You got a little bit of a higher clientele as well, with the pharmacy stuff and things like that. So that makes a lot of sense. Great. What else am I missing, Steve, to talk about?
I mean, the overall commitment to the school is probably the biggest thing. Is when students come to the school, they need to understand their driving careers begin then. And the transition to truck companies is a big transition. It's a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly when they're deciding what company they're going to work for. The school lays a good foundation. The school has excellent instructors and administrative staff to help them answer questions. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing I would suggest to any student is do your research. Make sure you do your research. You keep your families close. You keep them involved in the decisions you're making, because it is a big decision. You want to make sure you team up with a company after you leave school that's invested in you as well as your training and safety and success. So that's probably the bigger things that a student should really pay attention to. And nobody should ever ask them to sign a contract. If somebody's asking them to sign a contract, they need to stay away from that.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. That is good advice there. And I mean, we always talk about, doing the research on the companies, and we have 7 or 8 different companies that we let come in and actually see the class. Steve is one of them that comes in pretty much almost every class. I think you're there, and do the research. Go to a company, that if things do change, you could stay in that company. Okay, whatever your situation is, because things do happen. Don't go and jump from company to company for a penny here or a penny there when you could be getting that right from that company and not lose any of those additional benefits. So I see so many students make mistakes like that, and they call me back up and they say, "Well, it didn't work out there." I go, "Well, why didn't it work out?" Well, because they didn't listen to what the company was asking them to do. So know what they're going to ask you to do right from the beginning when you're doing your research. When the guys come into the lunchroom to talk, ask questions. Ask questions. Okay.
Can I
That's
can I
sure. Go
back on
ahead.
that, Andrew?
Yeah.
A student really needs to understand that their first year within this industry is absolutely the most crucial year for the new driver in this industry. They're building their foundations, they're building their reputation. Whatever company a student chooses, they really should invest that year and spend that complete year with a company and learn and grow as much as they can. Because if they change jobs too many times in the first year, they may not get another one, and they kind of hurt themselves. So any student that is looking for this career, that first year is absolutely crucial. Pick a company, stay there for a year, let them pay you, let them train you, get as much as you can in your first year or two. Then you get pretty much write your ticket anywhere. But that first year is absolutely crucial to a student.
Another little hint to that is a company like CRST where they take safety so seriously, and they teach you. Yeah, you come through us and you get your training, but then when you're going through that finishing school, to find out that what that company expects, and if you do it that way, the way they're asking you to do it, to make $70,000-$80,000 is very realistic.
Yes.
So that's cool. Let's open up the phones and see if we have any questions. I'm going to go to Daniel. If you go ahead and click your microphone, you could ask the questions.
Hi, how we doing?
Good, Daniel. How you doing?
Good, Dan. How are
Can you
you?
hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, doing great. So yeah, I did have a couple questions, and I understand this is more for this webinar is more for CRST than for national trucking, but you kind of answered my question about not having any work here in Northeast Florida, because I do have a 12-year-old. I'm not able to, just have her in the truck with me, and I am kind of looking for something close by. But I totally understand that first year of getting my brakes in, whoever I would sign on with, I would definitely want to commit myself to that first year, and then even beyond that, as long as I feel I'm being treated well, which I don't see that being a problem. I have several friends of mine that are truck drivers, and they're doing well. A friend of mine already bought his own truck within 5 years. So this is definitely something I've wanted to do, by the way, since I was 21, but I've just never gone through it. And just recently contacted National Trucking School, which I'm like 15 minutes away from there. I'd really like to attend that class because they have manual trucks.
We do teach manuals.
Something I'm really excited about getting into the truck driving. Yes, sir. Yeah, I heard that. I found out that from a friend of mine who took your class from years ago.
Good, Daniel. And just keep in mind, just because they don't have local work here right in Florida, doesn't mean they don't have regional where you could be home maybe every 2, 3, 4 days, type of thing. So keep an open mind on all of the companies that you're going to hear about when you're coming through national. Okay, that's real important.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go through. I'm going to go
Yeah.
through all of the money. I'm going to go through all of the money and how to get to school and all of that as soon as we're done with Steve. So just hang in there for me for a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other
I
questions,
sure will.
please?
Yep.
Any other questions? Oh, okay. Paul's typing in. That he had a felony, but it was more than 5 years ago. Would that keep him from going to work for CRST?
So that is a great question, and this question comes up a lot. So where most companies have what I call a standard box criteria, what I mean by that is a lot of companies have a standard of if you've had a felony 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, you're disqualified or a misdemeanor or whatever. We don't exactly have that. Our policy is very simple. We want to talk to the individual. We want to get the backstory. We want to treat the individual like a person, go through everything, and then make a decision based on the information provided. We don't judge an individual based on their background or a piece of paper. We want to actually talk to those people and see what we can do for those people. Am I guaranteeing you will take? No. Am I saying automatically no, we're not going to take you? No. But we definitely want to be able to get that information, sit down, talk to you, get the backstories, and move from that point forward based on information provided by the individual and not by just what a background report says. So, do we take them? Absolutely. Do we take all of them? No. But we do take people. We do give second chances. We do everything we can because we do have that ability to sit down and talk to people, review it, go over it, and make a better judgment based on the circumstance.
Very good. Paul, does that answer the question there? Okay, very good. He says yes. Thank you. All right. Okay, now I got another one here. All of those things, they're a case-by-case basis. About driving record and things. Apply. It doesn't hurt to go ahead and apply. Steve, what's the easiest way to apply for CRST?
So the easiest way would be to get a brochure from the school, Andrew, and then the brochure is a little QR code. That QR code is hooked directly to a young lady by the name of Jessica Thomas. She actually is the representative for National at our company, works with Kayla, does all that. So the best thing to do, get a brochure from the company, fill out the quick form, talk with Jessica. She'll get everything lined out for you. If there is something of a motor vehicle record or a background or an employment history problem or whatever, Jessica will work with you individually and help you through. That is the absolute best way to do it because if the individual just goes online, that may go to anybody who's not affiliated with your particular school and the exemptions we get based on coming from national. So right. The best way to do it is to apply through the school more or less, let Jessica get involved and help with those.
Yeah. We need to remind Kayla to get that QR code so we can leave it on the webinars. People can do it right from their screen.
Yeah.
We need to do that. Okay.
And if anybody wants a way to apply, you got my email address, Andrew?
Yeah, it's steve.loftus, Luftus. Loftus, yes. Sorry. There's no T in there?
No, Loftus.
TUS. Okay, I was right. I said it right. Okay, and at CRST.com.
If they are interested this evening, they are more than welcome to shoot me a real quick email referencing this webinar, and I will get everything out to them via email tonight or first thing tomorrow, and they'll be able to work with that from that point.
And guys, you could also, if you didn't get that, you can also, send us an email here at the school, and Kayla will answer it and send you what it is that you need. Okay, so that's good. All right. Okay. This is a good question. We didn't talk about it at all, Steve. They want to know, do they have to pay to go up to orientation?
No. So, one, the beautiful thing for the students who go to your school, Andrew, is orientation in Jacksonville.
Is that right?
So, yeah, we do orientation right there in Jacksonville. So they can go to orientation and go home every night. First
Wow,
thing.
I
Second
did not
thing,
know that.
yeah. Second thing is orientation is paid, breakfast and lunch is paid. If they should need lodging, that is paid. If they should need transportation, we pay for that, and that's done in the form of a flight or a rental car. The only thing the student would have to be responsible for is dinner, and that's it. We take care of everything else for the student.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, very good. That's a good question. That was a great question. All right. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead, raise your hand or type it in the chat box. Steve is traveling tonight. He's on his way home, I guess, for a couple of hours, and then you're off to Georgia tomorrow.
Correct.
So Steve covers a lot of schools all over the Southeast here. And we do enjoy it when he comes to school and come up and sees our students, and he has lots of good stories. So hopefully some of you. What's that?
For your prospective students that are on this webinar, folks, I would highly recommend you going to this school. It is a great school with a great reputation. The drivers that I've hired from this school have been phenomenal. The instructors care. The school cares. They invest a lot into you to make sure you have a great experience. You've learned a lot, and you can move on to that next stage in your career. And Andrew does a great job at making sure everything is lined out perfect for you. So it's a school with very high integrity, and it's one that should be strongly considered. It's one of my absolute favorite schools to visit when I get the chance to get there. And I just love working there. Mike and John and all them, your instructors that'll be there, worked for us in the past. They say good things. So it's a great school. You really should put a lot of consideration in.
Well, thank you for that, Steve. Daniel's asking, he says, I had a DUI in 2004. Can I even get my CDL at all? Yeah, you can. If that's pretty much all you got, Daniel, as long as you got an active driver's license, it's not going to keep you from getting a CDL.
And a DUI in 2004 is not going to prohibit you from getting a job with any company.
Yeah.
So, I mean, make sure you list it and be honest on your applications. But
definitely be honest. That's a huge thing in our industry.
Yeah. As long as it's been more than 5 years ago, that's not going to hinder you with any company that comes into the school. You can still get your CDL and move forward and have good plans.
Okay. Paul's got one more question here. He says that, he has 3 years driving experience. He graduated, looks like 3 or 4 years ago. And he would still go through orientation. He wanted to know, does he still have to go through orientation? I would think
every driver, yes, every driver with any has to go through orientation. Orientation is about new hire paperwork, policy and procedures for the particular carrier you're going to go to work for, issuance of fuel cards and trucks. That's orientation with every company. The training is separate from orientation. So with experience, you wouldn't have to go through training, but regardless of experience, you still have to go through an orientation.
Sure. Okay. Okay, I think that is all of the questions. Steve, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. You're always a great guest, and we'll see you we're not going to see you now till second week in January, I think.
Second week in January, yep.
Very good. All right, well, thanks for coming. Have a very Merry Christmas and an excellent Happy New Year.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family. And Andrew, I look forward to seeing you guys in the second week of January.
Very good. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Talk to you.
Well, that was great. Steve gave us a lot of good information tonight about that. We talked about job security and why be a truck driver. A lot of times when people, the first time they ever even get into a truck is when they're right here at school. And we have lots of different types of trucks here, different makes, different models, different years. We have cab overs, we have day cabs, we have condos, we have super condos, and they're all been modified for student training. Okay, so a lot of that is good. The trucks today, this is actually a CRST truck on the inside of one of it, a working truck. So he's got 2 bunks. This is a twin that pulls out. That table goes down. Really, really nice. This front seat here does a complete 360. And another table pops up right over in this part here. Lots of closets, lots of cabinet space, things like that. Almost all of the companies today are going with these ergonomic seats, air ride seats. They want your experience to be very comfortable and very safe. Okay, another working truck right here. This is right from Freightliner Cascadia. Again, you can see out, but nobody can see in. Okay, very nice. Lots of different types of driving, like Steve was talking about. Solo. He was talking about over the road. He was talking about regional and dedicated. Okay, lots of different things. Then you got your flatbeds, you got your tankers, you got your open rail trucks, things like that. Okay, so and you hold, 97% of everything in your home or everything in your business at one point was on a truck. So this is a huge, huge industry. The companies now are giving a lot more home time. Okay, steady runs. They're doing a lot of more terminal to terminal rather than from, New York to California. You might be taking it halfway. Somebody else is going to take it the rest of the way in order to get the home time home. This is an old statistic here, 2019, 2020. They're talking about the average general freight breaks down to about $25.83 an hour. This is probably up around $34, $35 an hour today. So, you're making $900, $1,000 a week. That's great money. Anywhere between $150 or $160,000 a year. So the money is excellent in the trucking industry. What do you need to go to school? And Daniel kind of brought this up in the with Steve. So at National Training, we're going to review your driving record. We're going to look at the criminal history. We're going to look at your physical ability. Most truck drivers do not load and unload trucks. I don't know if you know that. But there are times when you will have to lift something and do that, or a lot of companies like even CRST, they'll give a lumper. Somebody's going to load and unload your truck type of a deal. They're paying you to drive. That's what they want you to do. But you have to be able to lift anywhere from 50 to 75 pounds, right? They're going to administer drug tests, okay? And if you're going to get into the truck driving industry, drugs, it can't be part of it, okay? Even medical marijuana, none of that stuff is legal in the trucking world, okay? So most importantly, here at National, what we're looking for is we want to know what your intensity is to succeed. Are you employable? Are you going to be able to make money to go through this program, okay? So the program is 4 weeks long. There's about 3 days of classroom and 17 days out working on the equipment. So every day you're going to do pre-trip inspection. That's probably the hardest part. For those of you that come on tonight, we have great pre-trip videos right on our website at truckschool.com. Go ahead and start learning it. It's all memorization. We go through it with you step by step, and you're going to do it every day. We have 1.25 miles private highway that our students, we only teach manual transmissions at National. We're probably one of the only schools left that only teach manual transmissions. And a lot of the big companies like CRST, they've gone completely automatic, but that's only as of late. They had a lot of manuals in the fleet for a long time. where they needed those types of drivers. Now, do we have automatic trucks? Sure we do. And if you can't get it, the manual and stick, we're still going to train you on it, but you can test in an automatic if you need to. Here's the guys and girls out there working in the backing pad. And then by the end of the first week, you're ready to go out onto the public roads. The instructors, okay, so the trucks, they got an instructor, they got a student and maybe 2 or 3 students in the back. The trucks have cameras in the front, in the rear, and on both sides. And then there's a computer screen there that actually showing the people in the back, everything the instructor and the driver's seeing. This is a quick overview of that 1.25 mile private highway. Okay. Learn how to upshift, how to downshift, and how to stop a 70-foot tractor trailer is huge. We also have simulators here at the school. Okay. The regular truck class really does not use these a lot. We use them a lot in Class B. We will use them for regular students if they're having problems with shifting. We'll put them on the simulator. 1 hour on the simulator is almost equal to like 4 hours of hands-on in a truck when we're talking about either backing or shifting. Okay, so it's available there if you need it. Placement is probably the most important thing that we do. Yeah, we have that screening process where we're only going to take you into the program as long as we can get you a job. But the reason for that is we have lifetime job placement. So if you went to CRST and you stayed there for 8 months or a year, and you should stay the year, you can call me up and say, Andrew, I didn't like my experience there. I'd like to go to Schneider. I'd like to go to one of the other carriers. And we'll do the research and we'll look at it and see why it didn't fit the first time, and we'll get you into another company for the rest of your life. We're going to do a lot of one-on-one private counseling. Again, this is not a cookie cutter school. Everybody that comes to the school is coming for a different reason, whether they want to travel or whether they just need to support their family, whether they want to be local or they want to be over the road or they want to be solo or they want to be a team. We're going to match you up with the company which is the right situation for you. And our placement people are very, very good at it. They get along with all these different companies. Just to give you an idea, you're more than welcome to go onto our job board at truckschool.com/jobs. Not only can you find the jobs that are available today, but you can even click into it. It gives you the whole background on the company and even the background on the person who's going to interview you. So there's not many job boards that have this 3 or 4 layers out there. Now, we have a lot of students that come in from all over the country. We have our motel that we deal with. It's called the Green Cove Springs Inn. You'll be here for 26 nights or 4 weeks. And the cost of that is only $902 for a shared room. It's like $34 a night. This is very, very doable. And if you're paying cash for the program, right now there's a promotion where the school would pick up that $902 for the shared room. Now, they also have private rooms. If you want a private room, you would pay the difference, which would be $387. So it's $1,287 for a private, $902 for a shared. Okay, so the cost of this program is $74.95. Most people just write a check for it. Some put it on their credit cards so they get the points. Okay, not everybody can do that. We understand that. So we do have all different types of financing plans. There's a new program out called an income share agreement, where you can put a small amount of money down. They will put up the rest of the money and you'll pay them weekly, like 8 or 9% from your pay. Get with your admissions representative. They can explain to you how to finance this program. And there's lots of different ways. There's lots of free government money out there as well. There's workforce and vocational rehabilitation and scholarships. Get with your admissions representative. You need to qualify first. and then they can go through the financing for you. Okay. So outside financing, banks and credit unions are good. Workforce, both rehab, veterans, TAA, which is a federal program, income share agreements. We use MIA Share. We have in-house financing also. So again, there's nothing that's going to keep you from going to school. We have a program that will work. And what's really nice about it is, just like Steve was talking about, they have tuition reimbursement, and you're not signing a contract with anybody. So even if you're going to borrow some money, you're going to get that money back on top of your regular pay. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. It's all good. We have it all. We have the companies and we have the jobs. We have the industry recognition. We've impeccable governmental relationships with workforce and the federal government, the state government, military. We have guaranteed financing for everybody. So I don't care if you have good credit or bad credit or no credit. There's a program out there where I can help you. We have over 38,000 graduates that possibly came here before you tonight. We have a very program that's very, very fun to complete. So there's the book work, there's online portion, and then the rest of it's all hands-on training. And most of all, we have that awesome, awesome, awesome training facility. Again, we want to thank we appreciate our students from the Department of Veterans Affairs, Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, the federal, the state vocational rehab programs, the state workforce programs, and a lot of the different Indian tribes also send their members to national training because they know that they're going to go to work. Okay. We have a lot of different companies that come to the school. Okay. CRST is certainly up in my top 5. I love Covenant Transport. I think that they're an awesome company to go work for. And I like both of these companies for different reasons. I like going to work for Covenant. You know, they have mandatory shutdown in bad weather. They don't want you driving the truck when it's sleeting and snowing, and they'll pay you to sit it out so that you're safe. That tells me a lot about the management of Covenant. I love TMC. TMC is a privately employee-owned company. Okay, so you go to work for them, you're getting stock, and you're getting extra money on top of your regular pay. They also pay differently. They don't pay cents per mile. They pay the percentage of the load. Stevens Transport, how many people out there, just by show of hands, raise your hand if you think you might want to own your own truck one day? Fantastic, fantastic. I would suggest to you guys, look at Stevens Transport. I think this company here has one of the best owner-operator mentoring programs out there. Now, we used to actually have a mentoring program, an independent trucker program for people that wanted to buy their own trucks. That went away a few years ago. Stevens Transport has picked it up. And you can go to Stevens, try out a lease deal with them, and if it doesn't work out, they'll take the lease off your hands where you're not going to lose all your money. So lots of good different companies out there that you could be talking with. Let's go ahead and if you have a question, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have about the school. Just raise your hand, please. And okay. Daniel, go ahead. We open up your microphone. You can go ahead and click your microphone. Go ahead, Daniel. You can talk.
Hi.
Okay, what's your question?
Yes. So I was on the phone with one of the lady at your school, and she had mentioned having a down payment.
Yep, you will have to have some
Is
sort
that
of down
how much?
payment. Okay, depending upon, have you done your qualifying form yet? Your qualification form, Daniel?
I have.
Okay. Do you know who your representative is? Who you work with?
Mary, I believe her name was Mary Beth.
Okay, Mary, okay, are you trying to get a Class B?
Class A.
Okay, yeah, because Mary Beth does Class B and she does Modified A. Modified A. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
there was a miscommunication with her, and she realized that I was going for a Class A, not a Class B. I don't know why. She reached out to me and she asked me if I was going for a Class B, and I told her no, and she was like, "Oh, well, our information says Class B." I said, "No, ma'am, I'm
okay,
trying to get my Class A."
okay, no, not a problem at all. We'll go ahead and we'll switch you over to a different rep, or maybe I'll take it over myself. Um, Let me take a look at your qualifying form. Let me see what you might not need a down payment. You might be eligible for a WIOA grant, or there might be some there could possibly be vocational rehabilitation. So I'd have to look at your form, and I'll do that first thing in the morning for
That
you,
would be outstanding.
and we'll check that out. But if you can't get
That
one of
would
those grants, Daniel, yeah, you will need a small down payment. Sometimes it's as low as $1,500, and it could be as high as $5,000,
okay.
depending upon the credit. And we have something, we can
Wow.
work out whatever it is we need to work out for you. Okay.
Okay, that
Any
would be
other
great.
questions? Good.
No, I was worried about the DUI thing, but that was back in '04.
No,
And
that's
I've had my license suspended, but that was because I didn't turn in my daggum tag. There's no
how, long-
moving
how, long
violation
ago,
or anything really, really bad.
how
Just
long ago was that? Your tag. How long ago was
which one?
your suspension? Your latest suspension was when?
That was last year, and that was because I didn't turn my tag in.
All right, we'll go ahead and we'll pull it out and take a look at your whole last 5 years and make sure that you're
Yes, sir.
that you're there. All right, and I'll look at your qualifying form first thing in the
Okay.
morning. All right, very good. All right, any other
Thank
questions? Please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see anything else. I want to thank you all for coming here tonight. I hope that you learned a lot about CRST and a little bit about national training. You got to see part. If you'd like more information as far as the um, video, by all means, we do live tours online, and we do have an open house coming up. I got to check that date, but it's usually the second week of January on a Saturday. So I don't know if that's the right date or not, but certainly we love to brag about our program. We keep a very low profile. Um, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. If you have any questions at all, give one of our representatives a call first thing in the morning, 1-800-488-7364. Your lost time is costing you big money. It's all good. Just make sure. All. Good night, everybody. The easiest way to get out of here tonight is to go up to File, Exit, Leave Webinar. File, Exit, Leave Webinar. Have a great night.